What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Jedi Jive. My name is Mike. Joining us again for Mandalorian reaction is my sister Jenny.
Hey, guys.
We got episode 7 coming up, so
Yeah.
there's really 2 episodes left of season 3. I'm going to reiterate what I said last week, which was that it feels pretty evident at this point that season 3 is more sort of like a setup for what's next.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily like the best thing. Like, I would have preferred to have this season have its own very definitive story. It doesn't mean we still can't kind of get that right now, because we have 2 episodes left. This one's 53 minutes. That's pretty significant. If we use our time efficiently right now, we might actually be able to tell the story that we were hoping we were going to get. It just seems like a lot of what we've done so far this season has been a little bit side questy, but overall I'm enjoying it, and I'm excited to see where it goes next, particularly like the Bo-Katan situation. Like we said last week, it's clear that this is like the book of Bo-Katan now, which I'm down for. This is great. We just want to make sure that Din Djarin and Grogu don't necessarily get sidelined in their own show, which we know they kind of did with Boba Fett. But that's, guys, this is still The Mandalorian. It's still basically everybody's favorite. Looking forward to what's happening. How about you? Any
I agree with everything
predictions?
you just said. I don't have anything super germane to add to that. It's been, like you said, my least favorite so far, but that doesn't mean I'm not still enjoying it.
Yeah, and like I usually sit here and try to like make some sort of prediction, and sometimes we're dead on, sometimes we're not. But like right now, I honestly don't have much of a prediction because it's like what are they gonna do? Anything can happen right now. I think right now the gathering Mandalorians in general, Bo-Katan getting all of the different Mandalorians together to try to unite and reclaim Mandalore is like the main storyline. And then we also have Carson Teva just discovered the Beskar, which potentially implicates Mandalorians in something that could get them in trouble, Moff Gideon situation. So is Moff Gideon going to come into play? Seems like a good chance he might show up. One way or another, we're gonna have to talk about him, figure out what's going on, because they had him escape. But anything's possible, guys. Let's jump in, have some fun, and we'll talk about it afterwards. Oh, right to Coruscant. Oh my God!
This is a very Blade Runner vibe right now.
Yep. Very Blade Runner.
Yes, extremely.
It's Elia Kane.
This is Elia Kane.
Code TK2755.
TK. That's her. That's like a stormtrooper number. Oh shit.
Report. And make it quick, as I am sure.
Ooh.
Magistrate Cargo was aided by Mandalorians.
Which Mandalorians?
Bo-Katan Kryze led a squadron of Mandalorians alongside Din Djarin and his covert.
I shall deal with our Mandalorian friends.
Okay. Alright, so where's he at? Okay.
Whoa, that looks cool as hell.
Dude, those guards, what the... These, like, sentries.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is like a high security situation. Oh, wait, we're in one of those cloning labs.
It show no sign of our true strength.
Oh, shit. It's like a high table situation.
If we are perceived as anything other than a group of unorganized remnant warlords, the New Republic will increase their efforts to hunt us down. Grand Admiral Thrawn's return will herald in the reemergence of our military.
Ahsoka tease right there.
Commandant Hux enough time to deliver on Project Necromant.
Commandant Hux? Is that like...
Captain Pelion.
That must be like Hux's dad from the sequels. Hux.
Grand Admiral Thrawn is missing from your delegation.
Okay.
Any word on when he will be able to participate in the Shadow Council?
Oh, Shadow Council. Okay.
We look to new leadership.
Okay.
We already received your request. 3 Praetorian guards. Sounds like someone is concerned about an assassination attempt.
And what is your security concern?
Mandalorians.
What?
We need to stamp them out now.
You'll have your reinforcements. And your guard.
Long live the Empire!
Long live the Empire!
Eesh. I love how the guy's like, what makes you think I'll give you all of this stuff? And he just goes, Mandalorians. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll give you the stuff you need. Navarro's like the new Tatooine.
Yeah, right?
Can't stop going back here.
No, it was an Imperial ship. Look at the markings.
Yes.
Starbuck.
Giant mythosaur. We got the helmets versus the no helmets.
Yep. I hope these
They've
two
never
groups
met.
get along.
They've never
met.
And what little they know of each other, they hate.
They will if they want to survive.
Grogu's on mommy's lap.
IG!
Dude, you kidding me? Did the Anzellans fix him up? The lights aren't red. It's first good sign. Yo!
The Anzellans driving him!
What did you do to IG-11?
No, that's IG-12.
Dude!
They removed his memory circuit. The pilot provides cognition.
Yes.
Bad baby. No, squeeze
No squeezy.
Bad baby.
You cannot be serious right now.
Oh my god, look at him.
Grogu's new egg is IG-12. That's scary.
Grogu is too young to operate heavy machinery. Maybe when he's older.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
He's like Stephen Hawking up in there.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Get him out of there.
No. Yes.
Yes.
No, this is not a good idea. Come on.
This.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, what?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's amazing. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh my god, that's so great.
Yes.
What are you doing? Stop. Grogu. No. You have to pay for those.
Melu run.
No.
Yes.
Hey, Grogu.
No.
This is such a dad
This isn't working for me.
situation. Dude, Grogu would be just unstoppable in that thing. Assassin droid with a force user inside of it. Eesh.
Tension simmering on the Western Front here.
Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Even though the planet is not cursed, there are still dangers. Dormant species have been awakened from the bones. We'll scout the surface, find out what remains of the Great Forge, and establish a safe perimeter.
Oh, cool. Armorer likes that idea.
Cool
Cool.
shot.
Cool.
Really cool.
Oh, sick.
Nice.
Like when they do a 3-point landing in a superhero movie, that was
Yeah.
the like 12 people doing it at once.
The
just
Mandalorian
dropping
group
from the
version.
sky. That gauntlet ship is gonna be a new favorite toy for a lot of kids. They're highlighting that ship more than the N1 now. Is it more Mandalorians arriving in another ship? Oh, cool! It's like an airship, pirate ship, airship, dude.
Cool as hell.
Is that the voice of Lady Bo-Katan Kryze?
It is?
Sick. Okay, we got more non-helmet.
No helmet
players.
people.
Okay.
We knew you would not forsake us, Lady Bo-Katan. We have failed you, but our blasters remain in your service.
Where'd they come from?
I met with Moff Gideon.
Oh, here's how he took the saber from her.
In exchange for submitting to the Empire and disarming, all remaining cities and Mandalorian lives were to be spared. I didn't trust him, but it was the only chance I had to save our people. And then he betrayed me, and we were helpless to resist the purge of Mandalore.
So what are we? Not a...
And this blade is all I have to unify our people.
To be honest, it means nothing to me or my people.
nor does station or bloodline. What means more to me is honor and loyalty and character. These are the reasons I serve you, Lady
Oh,
Grease.
dope.
Your song is not yet written. I will serve you until it is.
That was a good speech.
Wow, dude. He just put so much respect on her.
We must return to the gauntlet, and I will ferry them back to the fleet in the morning.
Agreed. Those of you who are well enough can join us in the search for the Great Forge.
We can do better than that. We can bring you there.
Nice. Can we go in this cool ship, please? Yes!
Onward, Mandalorians!
Cool, man.
This is so sort of steampunk, like...
Yeah, airship.
Pirate looking.
Yeah. It's like a catamaran. It is, yeah.
What's it like that?
It's a flank jump, and you're about to submit.
Mandalorian checkers.
But only the wing guard can flank jump.
Oh, they're about to have a disagreement.
The enforcer
Cool
moves
it,
like a
boys.
wing
It's
guard
just
when
a
it's
game.
flanking.
These primitives make up their own rules for everything.
Oh. Knock it off, boys.
Boys.
Should I step in?
Neither side can step in.
She's like, how many fights are you gonna lose this
like,
week?
what do you want from me?
You're not my boyfriend anymore. Yeah. Yes!
No.
Amazing.
Grogu has to be the one to be like, simmer down, boys.
You taught your apprentice well.
Nice.
You
Pacifier.
didn't learn that from me.
He tamed a Rancor. He's gonna tame the Mythosaur. Is it the Mythosaur coming out of the ground? Tell me it's the Mythosaur. Tell me the Mythosaur's coming out. Is it like Godzilla status, dude? Dude, tell me. Oh my god. Please. Dude! The armorer's not here to see it either, dude.
What?
Oh wait, it's not even the Mythosaur, is it?
No, I don't
it's
think so.
It's just a whole
it's
other
a
animal.
Huge beast, though.
So wait, Mandor is like kaiju now. It's all like... Oh my god. It's
bye-bye
like
airship.
Dang, dude. It's like an Ankylosaurus.
Oh,
it's got like a club tail.
R.I.P. to that extremely cool ship.
So if there's a Mythosaur, there's other like large scale creatures. Is that it? Is that the forge that they're talking about?
This is what's left of the Great
okay.
Forge.
It really is big.
This was once the heart of our civilization.
Ah, like why did the armorer of all people leave?
More survivors.
Not friendly.
Ooh.
Those aren't Mandalorians.
Then what are they?
Imperials. Are they like those?
They're wearing Mandalorian armor though.
That's who broke Moff Gideon out. These things.
They're like Mandalorian stormtroopers.
Whoa!
Oh. Din! That was like almost overkill. Oh shit. Target practice! Oh, it's like a whole Imperial base.
Whoa.
What is this place?
Yeah.
It's an ambush.
Oh shit, it's just Din that's trapped. Oh shit, that's Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon.
Disarm him.
Ah, shit. Alright, so Grogu's the one that got captured last season, now it's Din Djarin.
I have created the next generation Dark Trooper suit, forged from Beskar.
All right.
I will create an army that will bring order to the galaxy. Why don't we take your fleet off the board while we still have the element of surprise?
No!
Bo-Katan. We have to stop meeting like this.
I'll make sure of it.
Surrender the Darksaber and tell these people that this planet is mine.
This is the way.
Fall back! I'll cover the rear!
Is Paz Vizsla gonna sacrifice himself now? Setting himself up.
Go! There are too many.
No!
What badass.
This is the way.
Wow.
That's a classic scene. That's too bad. I didn't want to lose Paz Vizsla.
Yeah.
Well, it's not dead yet. Oh my god!
Whoa!
The gun is gonna melt. Yo!
Gnarly. That is one bad
Dude, he's not down yet. Oh my goodness. Yo! Paz Vizsla.
What are those
are the
weapons?
3 Praetorian guards that he wanted. Paz Vizsla, let's
this
go.
This music is intense. Oh, man.
I knew that was Rick Famuyiwa. It felt like an episode by him. For me, I think like one of the best parts of the episode is just Grogu getting in the IG-11 suit and having it be like a new,
a new
like,
toy.
It's like a whole new character almost that like incorporates Grogu into the character.
Yeah.
So we had asked last week, like, wait, why did they even initiate that IG-11 story and then like replace it with the R5? And then, like, not come back because they had the whole
This is the
Anzellans
payoff of that, finally.
Yeah, so they
that
did bring that back around. And Grogu doing the whole, like, pressing the button over and over and over again.
Stephen Hawking little talking
We kind of saw
thing.
him do that in season 1 where he's pressing the buttons in the Razor Crest and Din's like, stop touching that. And it was so just like, oh my god, as a dad, this is so real. The way, like, your toddler will, like, just keep incessantly doing that annoying thing and there's nothing you can do to... And, like... He was picking up the fruit and like, you know, squeezing it and Din kept having to pay for it. And I'm like, yeah, as a parent, that's just all too real having that the kid like out of control and it's just like costing you money and it's frustrating and yeah. So that whole like just the whole like, you know,
yeah, that's
Daddy
definitely
Din.
a high point.
Yeah.
I loved when the fleet came over Navarro and there was that sort of great mythosaur painted on the bottom. It was very reminiscent to me, and I'm sure this is deliberate. Of there's a scene from Battlestar Galactica where Katie Sackhoff actually has to steal a Cylon ship and she writes her name, her call sign, Starbuck, on the ship so that the rest of her fleet will know it's her and not the Cylons.
Yep.
I was like, oh, it's Katie Sackhoff flying like a, you know, pirated ship again. That's really cool.
Yeah, you know what, another the opening scene had that sort of like Illuminati, but it was like the remnants of the Empire, like all of the warlords had their little, you know, circle.
Yeah, that was cool.
And it was still, they were basically saying like they were loyal to Thrawn, and Moff Gideon was like the one guy that was like, I don't see Thrawn here.
Thrawn? Anyone see Thrawn?
You keep
Where
mentioning
is he?
Thrawn, but
show me him. Yeah.
So it was kind of like, oh, Moff Gideon's trying to like, even though they have this little faction of remaining warlords that are like faithful to the Empire, Moff Gideon's trying to be like the head of that. And is kind of
and so far he seems to be succeeding.
Yeah, which kind of, you know, reminded me of multiple things. It reminded me of like I said, it was kind of like that, you know, Arthur and Little John, or is that what I'm thinking of? Where it's like trying to usurp the throne kind of thing.
Sure.
But also like, you know, the Skeksis and Dark Crystal, how it's like there's the Emperor and they want to like jostle for like who's the one who's in control
power
now.
Politics going on.
So Moff Gideon's obviously the one that's like, he's got his new Dark Trooper Beskar armor with him in it, and he's trying to like steal Grogu's force usage. It's like clearly he's trying to create like a super soldier which I think is a thing, which like it's a Mandalorian Imperial super soldier, basically. It's like a commando that's a droid / Mandalorian Imperial
not
guard.
Mandalorian, but Beskar.
And those Praetorian guards that we just saw take Paz Vizsla out we saw them in the sequels.
Yeah.
Or at least that kind of guard with that weapon.
Yeah.
And that wasn't 100% of Paz Vizsla death, was it?
I think it was. It read that way to me. And what a badass. Like, what a bad dude at the end there. Really, like,
once again, we've seen him do that season 1 when they saved Din Djarin. It was just like, go, like, I've got this. Obviously, this was way more of a, like, no, we've seen that scene play out in many movies before. The whole, like, that one person stays behind to, like, save yourselves! And they, like, lock themselves in the room with a grenade or whatever to, like, take out as many bad guys as they can before they die. And he actually made it past that first wave. I was like, wait a minute, is he gonna live? But you know what else was one of the scenes that I thought was like pretty significant and like hit me pretty hard in this episode was Din Djarin, like, not like, it was the equivalent of like pouring his heart out to Bo-Katan, but it was in that like honorable soldier kind of way where he's like, I'm not here because
his little monologue on the ship.
Not because you're a princess, not because you have the Darksaber, like none of that concerns me.
Honor and character and dignity.
I trust the shit out of you, and
that was a good speech.
Yeah, I liked that because it was very like, not uncharacteristic for Din, but he was very like emotionally open with her for a second.
Yeah,
and like we've mentioned before, like they're not going the like romantic route with Din Djarin and Bo-Katan where they're like, you know, a loving pair, but they kind of like implied there where it was like a mutual respect,
mutual trust and mutual respect.
Yeah, to the point where it was just like Din Djarin, he just put so much respect on her. And they have like Bo-Katan, you could see that she was like borderline smiling at first when they first got back to Mandalore, where it was like, okay, things are falling into place. That makes it seem kind of obvious that things are going to start going shitty because everything seemed like it was falling into place to us for a second with that airship that showed up with the other Mandalorians. Too bad they blew that thing up.
Yeah, that thing was cool as hell.
I liked the airship. That's always a fun.
That was super cool. That big creature, let's talk about that.
Yeah, for a second I thought it was going to be like a kaiju mythosaur reveal for everyone where it was, because it seemed like that, but then they cut that short. Like they had this giant animal come out and then they like, just went underground and it was gone.
Yeah.
And you didn't even really see much of it, so it was almost like, wait, what was the point of that? If it wasn't going to be like a... But still, that even more so, Bo-Katan, like, she didn't say she saw a mythosaur like she told the armor, but she said, like, dormant species have, like, come out now since then. So she mentioned...
Well, we met, like, 5 or 6 of them in the previous Mandalore episode when they went to the Living Waters.
I keep using the word kaiju because it's, like, it literally is, like, Godzilla. Yeah. It's like, okay, this planet had nuclear activity and now these dormant species are coming...
Rising from the deep,
That's 100% Godzilla.
And the way that emerged, it was like tremors. It, like, burst from the ground and, like, flopped. But
I think
I almost kind of wish we'd seen more of that.
Yeah, I do too. Another significant thing that happened was Grogu playing the pacifist, where Bo-Katan was like, neither one of our tribes can tell them to stop fighting. It's just against the rules. You gotta let them duke it out. But
and IG-12,
like, I guess we'll call it.
Boys.
IG-12 got in the middle and was the pacifier, and it was like, that's actually not insignificant, because we've seen Grogu tame the Rancor, and we know that the Mandalore tames the mythosaur and like heralds in a new age, so we may still have room for Grogu to be not necessarily the Darksaber wielder like Bo-Katan, but he could still use that pacifying power.
Well, and Grogu traditionally is this character who bridges different worlds, whether it's Jedi and Mandalorian or, you know, whatever that is. And in this case, maybe his role is to help unite the warring factions.
Yeah. That would make sense. I think, Grogu has had pretty significant, like, force-using scenes in both, like, in the first season, he lifts the Mudhorn, he heals Grief Karga's, like, fatal, like, mortal wound, he uses the Force to stop the flamethrower in the bar, so that they can escape the flame trooper or whatever. You see multiple, like, massive Force usage scenes, and then in season 2, what does he do for Force usage?
I can't remember, but in the Book of Boba Fett, he tamed the Rancor.
Yeah, he tames the Rancor. So it's like, we haven't seen Grogu do, like, he used his force to like help Lizzo like win at bocce.
Right.
Like, okay, funny, but like let's see him use the force to do something significant, and I think that like, you know, we might not see him tame the mythosaur in the finale episode next week, but
this is a pretty good setup. I mean, this was a great
now
episode.
Din is captured.
This was probably like the most exciting episode so far. In terms of sort of action and raising the stakes, but having Din captured, that really gives us a huge lead into the final episode.
Yeah, it would have been kind of like repetitive to have Grogu be the one that gets captured again for the third season in a row, basically, because it's like they kept. Even though IG-11 like rescues Grogu pretty quickly in season 1, like he gets captured. Season 2, he gets captured.
Yep.
So I think it's actually makes sense that Din is the one that gets captured.
And there's a role reversal there. Grogu's becoming more powerful, and he's gonna have to like help to save his daddy.
Yeah, and
now
once again, it's significant too, because even though he's pressing a button and it's like yes, no, that is literally the first time we're hearing Grogu like say an actual word.
Exactly.
And like, not only that, but like assert himself, where Din was like and he like ran away and was just like nope, like now that he is like automation in this droid, he can kind of do what he wants and not take orders.
It gives him agency that he didn't have before.
Yeah, which is pretty significant because it gives him the ability to kind of make his own decisions. Obviously they're using that as a joke at first to be like he's like stealing fruit and making a mess, and is like, but like it's important because it means Grogu can do things like stand in and stop a fight, or have like you said, have his own agency. And that's going to be significant moving forward because Grogu's going to be able to like slowly start saying things, communicating things, doing his own thing, which we saw the beginning of it in this season in Minds of Mandalorian. In episode 2 was the first time we saw him go off on his own to go get Bo-Katan to come back and rescue Din. So this season actually has been. It's easy to be like, oh, Grogu hasn't done anything. Like he's just this side cute thing for selling toys now, but it's like no, he actually has developed this season. He has. If you
it's funny, I read some interview
he's still the cute thing that he always was.
Dave Filoni, I might be misquoting who it was, but I think it was Dave Filoni who said something about we're going to hear Grogu speak soon, and I wonder if this is what was being referenced. I'm almost sure that this is what was being referenced.
Yeah, they had these Mandalorian like Imperial Mandalorian troopers come out, which was like, ooh, this is scary, like, but like they were just kind of picking them off pretty easily. Like Paz Vizsla was just like mowing them down. It didn't seem like
how cool was that when he used the blaster so hard that it literally melted in his hands?
Melt.
Oh
I know,
my
and then
God.
like after it didn't work, he like beat one of them with it. Like, love those moves. So yeah, it's like at first those guys seemed like they were going to be threatening, but then Paz Vizsla took out like 20 of them, and the Praetorian guards were like twice as scary.
Yeah.
I also was afraid that they were about to like take out because they were like send the interceptors and whatever to like screw up the fleet, and Bo's like no, and I'm like, oh wait, does this mean because the armorer
went back,
took
with
the injured people back, so it's like, are they gonna go like destroy their fleet? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen now. Anyway, guys, the finale has been set up. Whether or not the bad guys are gonna win in the end of this season, I don't know. I feel like there's a possibility in them doing that, kind of leaving at the end of the finale. It's not going to be all happy. Like we might be like, oh,
like
season
an
4
Infinity
can't
War
come soon
scenario
enough.
where you're like, oh my God, they have to fix this for us.
Yeah, because like there's no way we're gonna like wrap up stuff and like be happy and content with like where everything is after one more episode. There has to be some element of like, wow, the bad guys came out on top here. I feel like because like now that Celebration has gone down, there's an Ahsoka trailer now, and everybody's looking forward to Ahsoka. And Thrawn his name was dropped in this episode too, by the way.
Yeah. That was a big Ahsoka tease, I felt, to throw Thrawn into that conversation.
Yeah.
And is he coming back? Is he not coming back? That whole thing. That's definitely like a tease for what we are going to see in Ahsoka.
Yeah, so I mean, now that we have that kind of like coming in the future, it's very like, it's hard to not feel like we're aiming that direction. So like, it's not like we're about to like, maybe at the end of the next episode we'll get a Thrawn reveal. Maybe we'll get a Ahsoka, like been talking about. We wanted to see an Ahsoka backdoor pilot. Maybe we won't get a backdoor pilot, but maybe we'll get like
a little tease of something to come.
Or like we're gonna turn in that direction and be like, okay, well, The Mandalorian season 3 has kind of wrapped up, but like the story is definitely headed that way.
Mm-hmm.
And Thrawn is gonna eventually be the big bad, because we see even Moff Gideon here is trying to like jostle for Thrawn's position.
Yeah.
And we know Thrawn is coming back. So is Moff Gideon trying to subvert Thrawn gonna not play out for Moff Gideon, or is Moff Gideon gonna continue to be the antagonist in this particular show, and Thrawn is gonna be saved for Ahsoka? Or are we gonna get any sense of him being the bad? Like, it's other than them name dropping him here, it still felt like Moff Gideon was the main bad guy because he's like, I've got this Beskar armor, I'm the Dark Trooper now.
Yeah.
He actually came down in a jetpack with a Mandalorian helmet on, looking like a badass. So like the impression that I got from that was that he was now gonna like instead of just like stealing the Darksaber from Bo-Katan, was gonna fight her and actually come out on top because he's got all these new Mandalorian toys.
We'll see.
And then he might actually win the Darksaber for real from her, and then Din Djarin will have to defeat him again.
That might be a little repetitive, but
not necessarily, because if it's a way of getting the Darksaber back in Din Djarin's hands and him even though it's reluctant, like he may still end up being that leader that he doesn't necessarily. I don't know. We'll have to see. I did like Din Djarin telling Bo-Katan that like I'm following you because you have honor. That was pretty significant. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, fun episode. Looking forward to the finale. We can't wait to see what happens next week. Let us know what you thought about this in the comments below. If you want to see the unedited version of the reaction, go over to patreon.com/JediJive. Go check it out. We'll see you in the next reaction.
Peace.